So hey guys, welcome to my channel Software Code Learning. So in this video I'm gonna talk about how you can isolate things, and isolation is very important because it helps in when you isolate some parts of your character. You can focus on that particular part, and it is very helpful because you do not have to focus on the whole character. You can focus on, for example, I just take this elephant and I want to work on his leg. Okay, so what I will do, I will just select, okay, the body. So there are two parts, one is head and the other one is body. So I want to work on these legs, okay, on his legs. So I will isolate them. Okay, so I'll make it solo. So you can isolate like this. Okay, and you can focus on his legs and add on more details. Okay, you can also isolate one leg because this is in symmetry. Maybe no, this is not in symmetry. Remove this. You can focus on this, and you can go deeper into adding more details. Okay, so like this you can work on it. So isolation is very important and you have to go through it. So we will start with it. So first, to enable, where you can find these tools, you can find you have to press Control Shift, and you can see here, when you press Control Shift, you can see here the tools are, all the tools are here. Okay, so some of the tools which are very helpful in hard surface stuffs, when you are working with hard surface, they will help in getting you some crisp edges or sharp edges. That is very helpful for you. So let's start with this clip circle. Okay, okay, so for example, I just select this head. Okay, so if I want to, okay, so this is clip, and what it will do, just what you have to do, Control Shift, and by pressing space you can move it all around. Okay, once you find the place where you want to keep it, just leave the space and left click. Okay, so now you can see that the mesh is compressed. Okay, so let me, so what it will do, clip curve do, let me tell you, wait, so it will, for example, I take a sphere, it will be very, switch. Okay, so I take a sphere here, or I don't think, just, so I will append a sphere here. Okay, and solo, let's make it solo. So now here you can understand it well. For example, I did this and I want to just isolate this much of this sphere. Okay, so what it will do, it will compress all the mesh here on this surface. As you can see, Only difference is the mesh. Okay, so again, let's do it again. See, all the mesh, all this side mesh will be collapsed in this surface. Okay, so now we move on to the clip curve. Okay, so what it will do, the black side will be affected. So when you control shift space to move the line, and it will slice like this. Okay, shift F, you can see clip curve will collapse or compress the other part of the mesh like this. You can see here. Okay, for example, I will do half of it again. Let's see what it will do. See, it will compress the other half into this particular surface. Okay, this is how it works. Clip curve will do this. Okay, okay, see this. So now clip rectangle, this is all, this also do the same thing, but the selection will be rectangle. You can rectangle or square, and make it square or rectangle according to your needs. Okay, so the only difference is it will collapse the mesh. Okay, so if I if I click alt control shift plus alt and hold left click, and then if I release, the other part will be affected. Wait, wait, let's do it with clip curve, and you will see. So the black part, if I do not press alt, the black portion, black side will be affected, and if I press alt, the other side will be affected. Okay, so this is the difference when you press alt. Okay, so now you can, if you press control shift alt one time, if you press alt one time, okay, so it will make a curve. You can see here like this. It will cut it in a curve manner. Now if you want a sharp cut, okay, so what it will you will do, just control shift tap two time alt, and it will make a sharp cut, sharp angle, and you can see this. Okay, like this. So let's move on to the knife curve. So the only difference is the mesh. So let's see how it reacts. So we will cut it into half, and let's see the mesh. So now you can see the mesh is different from before. Okay, so it makes the perfect topology, but the edges are not good. The edges are not good. Okay, so this is how knife curve works. Okay, you can press 2 time alt and it will make a sharp cut. 1 time alt along with control shift left click, it will make a curve. Okay, you can select it. If you press control shift and left click on it, so if you can see there are two colors. So these are called the polygroups. Okay, so this object have two polygroups. One is this, other one is this. So if you want to work on this polygroup, so you will do, control shift and left click on it, so it will isolate this surface. Okay, if you want to work on this surface, you can also inverse the selection. For example, you want the other side to be selected, to be isolated. So you have to do, control shift and drag outside. Wait, first you need to go to select lasso, and now it will only work on this. So to inverse, you just have to make a simple, you have just have to drag it here outside the object, so it will show the other polygroup. So if you want all the polygroups to be shown, you just have to control shift and left click outside the box or the object, so it will unhide all the polygroups present. Okay, so we go to the previous. Okay, we are here now. So I explained this knife curve. Now this is knife lasso. So knife lasso will also do the same job, but you have a free form kind of tool, so you can just move according to your needs, and you will get the cut, and the mesh is different from the clip curve. Okay, this is the difference. Now we move on to select lasso. So lasso will do, it will select this, it will isolate this particular selection, but green will show the selection, and alt, if you press alt, it will show the red, and which means you want to hide this particular section. Okay, so if you see this green, control shift, and that means you want this portion to be shown, and if you press alt, it will be hidden, this portion will be hidden. Okay, so this is how you can select the, isolate the portions. Okay, so now we move on to select rect, and it will also do the same job. Space to move, control shift space to move the selection, and press, leave it on it by releasing space, and just, it will isolate the selection. Just click control shift left click outside the object, and it will unhide all the objects, all the whole object. Now we move on to the slice curve, slice circle. Slice circle, what it will do, it will make polygroups. Okay, so once you make a polygroup, so just, you can see this, I made two polygroups. Okay, so just put it on the area where you want to isolate, and just click on it, and you want to control shift and left click on it, and it will isolate it. Okay, if you want to make this whole object one polygroups, just press Ctrl W, and it will make the will do the job. Okay, so this is how the slice circle will do. It will make polygroups. Okay, so now the same way the slice curve will make the polygroups. Okay, as you can see, so now you can select whichever part you want to select, isolate, just click on it, click on it, click on it. It is very easy for selection purpose. Okay, if you want to make this whole object one polygroup, just Control W, so it will make this whole one polygroup. Now it will also work like the clip curve, like if you want to want a curve selection, so you just have to press Control Shift Alt one time and just see the result. Okay, and if you press two time Alt, Control Shift two time Alt, then it will make a sharp angle. Okay, very easy, easy to understand. So this is the difference. This is also slice rectangle. It is only the rectangle, and it will make polygroups according to the rectangle. Okay, so you can see here. Okay, isolate it. Always keep in mind it will also select the back part of it. Okay, so just make a one polygroup by pressing Ctrl W. Now we move on to trim circle. Okay, so what it will do. Okay, so when you make a circle, and it will like cut that in a circular manner, but it will make a different mesh. As you can see here, the mesh is completely different from before. Okay, so the only difference between all these clip curve and lasso, uh, let's not consider lasso, because it will not give you the mesh, closing mesh, because it will make the selection hollow. Okay, it will make the selection hollow. But in case of slice, or we can say like trim or clip curve, so the only difference is the mesh. So when you select trim curve, it will make the procedure of selection will be the same as before, but the mesh will be different. Only difference is the mesh. As you can see here, the mesh is different. Okay, if you want a clean mesh, you can go with knife curve. Okay, you see that. Let's move on to the trim lasso will also do the same thing, but the mesh will be different. Let's select it first. Okay, so just select. Okay, so the mesh is here. Now if you want to select, divide it into half. So now, okay, why it's not? Okay, it will not do, it will not work like this. You can select it like this. Okay, so now we move on to trim rectangle, and trim rectangle will also do the same job, but the mesh is different. You can select this mesh. Okay, if you want to delete the other polygroup, if you do not want, for example, you want this portion and you want to delete that mesh. Okay, so what you will do, you can go here, geometry, modify topology, and here you can see hidden, delete hidden. Okay, so you can press delete hidden, and now the mesh will be deleted. Okay, now if you press Ctrl Shift left click outside the object, it will not come back. Okay, so if you want that mesh, if you want to fill this object again, you can go here, close holes, and it will make that mesh again. Okay, all right. It will, every time you make a selection, it will make a different polygroup. All right, let's move on to the tip, kind of not a tip but a different trick. You can say a trick. So if you want a, if you want a strip like selection over here, so just keep it outside and Control Shift space. When you press space, you will a dialog box, or you can say options will be pop up. So this is B radius, so you have to enable B radius. Click on it by pressing space. So Control Shift and space, it will show this. Enable this. Now for example, I take this slice curve. Okay, so I just make it a slice. So let's see what it will do. Okay, it works on the brush size. Okay, so B radius works on brush size. So when you increase the brush size, it will increase the length of the panel. So as you can see here, a, a different polygroup is made here. Okay, so this is what it makes a panel kind of thing. Okay, if you want a bend, so you can easily get it like this trick. And if you want to delete the other polygroups, you can just go here, modify topology, delete hidden, and it will be deleted. And if you want this mesh to be cleaned, so you can just z remesh it. But I will tell you how z remesher works and the other things in my next videos. Okay, like this you can have a clean topology. Okay, no need to work hard, just few tricks and you will get the clean mesh. Okay, so I am done with this. I have just told you everything about how you can isolate and use these brushes. So if you find it helpful, please do like, subscribe my channel, and if you want to ask anything, you can just comment below and let me know where I can help you with your doubts. So thank you so much and have a good day.